Fake News Florio, as he's known to me. He spoke to NBC Sports Washington regarding Haskins. Quote, I think it's better to hold on to him until after the season. You let the dust settle for all teams. You let everyone take a look around at the available options to address their quarterback positions. And maybe you get more teams at the table. Maybe you get better. You get more teams at the table.
So I'm wondering about sound, how it sounds for you. I think it's picking up some feedback. So I turned off the volume on my laptop, so I'm hoping the sound should be good for you now. How is sound? Pretty close to testing. I am Eric from Jostens, and I want to sell you lots of rings for lots of money. I hope you will participate and tell your parents to stroke a blank check.
on the Team 980 and 95.9 FM. Brought to you by Tap Sports Bar at MGM National Harbor. Make Tap Sports Bar your home arena this season. Must be 21 or older. NFL, the Washington football team, of course, in the midst of the bye week. Team president Jason Wright on the team's website this morning has updated the search for a new name. Quote, at our current pace, we hope to have chosen a new name by the middle of next year. End quote. Also, defensive lineman Jonathan Allen speaking this morning by Zoom press conference said that the last 2 weeks of Washington practices were, quote, phenomenal, end quote. Also stressed the importance of practicing and playing well consistently. Running back Antonio Gibson will join Doc Walker and Scott Lynn this afternoon at 12:30. The NFC now has 6 5-win teams 7 weeks into the NFL season. 3 of those teams are in the NFC West. The Rams improved to 5-2, 24-10 win over Chicago on Monday Night Football. The Bears fell to 5-2. Baseball World Series Game 6 tonight. Dodgers seeking their first World Series title since 1988, holding a 3-2 lead on Tampa Bay. 8:08 first pitch at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Tony Gonsolin versus Blake Snell. LA's a -133 favorite. Your DMV weather presented by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Visit windownation.com. Cloudy today. Highs in the 60s. Talk and Talk on the Team 980, 95.9 FM, and the Team 980 app. Three 230-0980 NFL trade deadline a week from today. How should Washington handle it? We're asking you. You can hit me up on Twitter at Al Galdi. Doc is on with Scott Lynn noon to 3 the next 3 days with Brian Mitchell out. So if you're seeking a fix of the DOC, you shall get it this afternoon, noon until 3. Get lots of tweets on what we're talking about. What should Washington do come the deadline? Chuck B on Twitter says, keep Haskins. Got to play the long game on this one. Ryan K, you keep. Ryan A, you trade. Mask Dark says, Florio is wrong. Haskins has more value now than he will have after sitting the rest of the 2020 season, and teams have fully scouted quarterbacks in the draft. Now, if he plays some more, then cool, but I don't know if we will see him again, except if there's an injury. It doesn't feel like you're going to see him again, with him being the QB3. That is the thing, right? It's not just that he got benched, it's that he got demoted. He got buried at quarterback number 3. You've had Ron Rivera tell J.P. Finley, I was done with him. It's been pretty succinct the way the team has talked about Dwayne. Doesn't mean that can't change. As Ron said last Thursday, I tell you guys one thing and the players another. So maybe behind the scenes it's different. But I certainly don't get the sense that Haskins is someone who they want to play again this year. They are done with him. They are out on him. And they just better be right on that. Because if they're not, it's going to be a really bad look if you gave him your 4 games this season. Joe on Twitter says, hullabaloo. Thank you, Joe. That was the word I was searching. But what say you? How do you want Washington to handle this deadline? It's a tricky spot. You're not a very good team, but you're in an even worse division. Thomas is on the show. What's up, Thomas?
What's going on, G? How you doing this morning?
Hey, man, how are you?
Shout out to the coach, man. You got the juice this morning,
Hey, we got to bring the sauce and the juice and the smoke, too.
What? Yeah, Daddy ain't home today, Boy, you a mess. Hey, man, I want to give a shout out to Coach Ron Rivera, man. I watched him coming out yesterday on watching TV and watching him in reference to the cancer. And I want to give a shout out to him and how he, just trying to overcome that. And I hope he will. We gave him so much a bad break. Me and you, G. Today you've been good. Today, why?
I'm being good today? What do you mean? I'm behaving?
Yeah, you've been behaving today.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I follow the rules, Thomas. You know that.
I know that's right. But look, that's why I'm at with it, man. I'm definitely a seller, but I'm not a big seller. Because I wasn't a big seller when, just coming up with free agents. I got a lot of cap room, so you already know I'm not a big seller. But I'm selling. This is what I'm selling to. I'm selling Troy to small guys. All I want to try to get out of this whole deal is a 4th, 5th, 6th, maybe a 7th. I'm not really sure. But all I want is 2 players, maybe 3 guys. I'm not looking for Ryan Curtin to go. Only reason because I wasn't looking for AP to go. I need these great veterans to lead this young team I got. I got great people.
So are you gonna re-sign Kerrigan after the year? That's part of your plan?
I got to wait for the end of the season.
Yeah, you see, that's the call. That's the tricky thing. If you want to re-sign him, then fine. Then I understand where you're coming from. But hey, I still like him. I still think he can be productive. I want him as a part of the culture reset. Okay, fine. But if you're not going to re-sign him, or you're not that interested in re-signing him, or you're not willing to pay what you think it's going to take to re-sign him, then you need to deal him. Like, that's part of being a smart front office. That's part, honestly, of the culture change. Washington never thinks in a forward fashion, or at least hasn't in previous years. You want to be ahead of the game. It's not about, coaches talk about 1 week at a time. That's the way coaches and players should think. If you're a GM, and that's really what I'm asking you to do here is play GM, you got to think well beyond 1 week at a time. Now, verbalize those things, but you always have to be thinking about a month from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now. Mike Rizzo, for years, for those of you who are Nationals fans, have talked about having a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, and a 5-year plan. And that's the way you got to do this. And so that to me is what is always so interesting about sports. Like, yes, the micro is interesting, right? The week to week, the game to game. But if you're the GM, right, if you're moving around the chess pieces, what are you thinking here? Because this is a strange dynamic. You're not a very good team, even coming off Sunday, but you're in this really bad division. And you could argue we're not a really good team right now, but we are getting better. Things are improving. We're having these great practices, as we talked about last hour. And it's like, I don't want to just tap out on the year. But see, to me, this is the beauty of the way I'm looking at it. I think you can sell and still be in contention. Like, I don't think it's an either-or proposition. You can trade away Kerrigan and Anderson and Moreau and people like that, and you can still contend in this pathetic NFC East. That's the gift of this division. You can still stick to your plan of this being a developmental year, of this being a rebuilding year, but you can compete for the division at the same time. I don't think it has to be it's one thing or the other. I do think this is a situation where you kind of like have your cake and eat it too. But what say you? Roy in Brunswick is with us. Hey, Roy.
Hey, Dottie. Awesome show as always.
Thank you.
I'm with you, man. I mean, I think you definitely have to sell, and what are you going to do if you win the NFC East? You're just going to get killed by whoever you play anyway. So, I mean, you definitely need to sell. I'm with you on Sheriff. If you don't sell Sheriff, then I think there might be some interest in Moses because he's getting paid a good bit. And, fourth and fifth round picks, even if they can't help you immediately, like we've got some, like if you want to move up a couple spots in the draft, chances are you win a couple games to where you're going to be in the top 8 or 9. But if you want to move up a couple spots, if you've got an extra fourth or an extra fifth that you acquire, somebody like that,
in the midst of the bye week, the president Jason Wright on the team's website this morning has updated the search for a new name. Quote, at our current team, we hope to have chosen a new name by the middle of next year. And quote, also defensive lineman Jonathan Haskins speaking this morning. By the press conference said that the last 2 weeks of Washington's practices were, quote, phenomenal, and quote, also stressed the importance of practicing and playing well consistently. Running back Antonio Gibson was with Don Rev and Scott Evans this afternoon at 12:30. The NFC now has 6 5-win teams 7 weeks in the NFL season. 3 of those teams are in the NFC West. The Rams have put a 5-2 24-10 win over Chicago on Monday Night Football. The Bears fell the 5-3 baseball World Series game tonight. Dodgers reaching the first World Series final since 1988, holding the first lead on Tampa Bay. 808 first pitch at Rose Field in Arlington, Texas. Tony Gonsolin versus Blake Snell. LA's a minus 133 favorite. The DMV weather presented by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Visit windownation.com. For right now, you turn the 5 into your starting quarterback and a guy who's played pretty well these last few games. That's a really good point. Another thing to keep in mind is that you do have picks let him walk this offseason by a free agency and get back a comp pick for him. But the way comp picks work is the formula is based on not only who you lose, but who you gain. So if Sheriff leads you, signs a big money contract,
NFL trade deadline from today out to Washington, Kansas. We're asking you, and you can on Twitter at Alvaldo. Is on the news of 3 the next 3 days with Brock Mitchell. So if you're seeking a fix for the DOC, we shall get it this afternoon. Noon until 3. Just last week on what we're talking about, what should Washington do on the deadline? Chuck B on Twitter says, keep asking about to play the long game on this one. Ryan A, you keep Ryan A, you trade. Matt Stark says, Gloria was wrong. Haskins has more value now have after sitting the rest of the 2020 season and teams have fully scouted quarterbacks in the draft. Now, if he plays some more than cool, but I don't know if we will see him again if there's an injury. It doesn't seem like we're going to see him again. Again, with him being a QB3, that is the thing, right? It's not just that he got changed, it's that he got promoted. He got buried at quarterback number 3. You had Ron Rivera on safety Sunday. I was done with it. You know, like, it's pretty distinct the way the team has talked about him. Doesn't mean that thing as Ron said last Thursday, you know, I told you guys one thing and the players another, so maybe behind the scenes it's different. But I think that Haskins is someone who they want to play again this year. They are done with him. They are out on him, and they just better be right on him. Because if they're not, it's going to be way back what he gave us for 4 games this season. Joe on Twitter says, "Come up a little." Thank you. That's a deal. I was good. But what do you? I want Washington to handle the deadline. Ricky Fox, you're not a very good team, but you're in an even worse position. What's up, Tom?
What's going on, G? How you doing this morning? Shout out to the coach, man. You got the juice this morning, Jack. Daddy ain't home. Stay up. Boy, you're a mess. Hey, man, I want to give a shout out to Coach Brown Rivera, man. You know, I watched him coming out yesterday on TV and a lot of them and listening to the cast. And I want to shout out to him and how he, you know, was trying to overcome that, and I hope he will. You know, you gave so much past break in, you can't build it.
Like I said, they are in the mix now. Not going to change. I mean, if they you can argue they're out of it now. But
I know that's right.
from a standing standpoint, they are in it. And if they win their next game or win the next 2 games, they're going to be in it through Thanksgiving. Like, that's just the nature of the standing.
When, you know, he coming in with free agents, they got a cap room, so you already know I'm not a big seller, but I'm selling. This is what I'm supposed to
You
do.
can trade a player for another player.
I'm selling Troy.
So maybe you can kind of
Small
walk
guys.
that
All I want is try to get out
you
of this
trade
whole
Brian
deal is a full.
Anderson for a young receiver.
Maybe it's something, you know, not really sure, but all I want is 2 players, maybe 3 jobs. I'm not looking for a wide third. Only reason because
You
I
know,
want to
so
make you go
there aren't
easy,
a ton of guys like that out there.
to leave
But
the
there are
team
people
like
like
that.
that out there. I
When
know
people
there's some
just
conversation
say,
about
you're going to
Kenny
resign
Stills
Kerrigan
might
after the year,
you know,
that's part of your
maybe
plan.
they're looking at it through that way. Where why don't we trade our guys who are not playing now and be able to be for a guy or a guy
If you want to resign him, that's fine. And I understand where you're coming
but
from.
who
Okay,
also fit some
I still
positions
like
of
him.
need for
I
the
still
season.
think he can be
Try to make
productive. I want him to deploy the coach to do that.
Doesn't have to
Okay,
be
fine.
pick one.
But if you're not going to resign him, or you're not that interested in resigning him, or you're not willing to pay what you think it's going to take to
Corner
resign him,
office. You
then
have been
you
hired
need
to
to
run
deal
the
like
Washington
that
football
part
operations.
of being a smart
you
front office.
handling
That's
the
part,
upcoming
honestly,
trade
of the
deadline
close
a week
team.
from today?
So Washington
is out
never
with us
thinks
here. What's up,
in a
Brandon?
forward fashion, or at least hasn't in previous years. You want to be ahead of the game. It's not about, you know, folks talk about 1 week at a time. That's where they coach and players. If you're a GM, and that's what you're asking to do here to play GM, you got to think well beyond 1 week at a time. Now, Joe, both of those things, you always have to be thinking about a month from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now. My kids go for years, those who are national fans talk about having a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, and a 5-year plan. And that's the way you got to do it. And so that's the difference with anything about sports. Like, yeah, the micro is anything, right? The week to week, the game to game. But if you're the GM, right, if you're the thing, you look around and that's what are you thinking? If this is a strange dynamic, you're not a fairly good team, even coming off from it, but you're in this really bad position. And you could argue, we're not a really good team right now, but we are getting better. Maybe for improving, you know, we're having these great practices, and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to just tap out on the year. To me, this is the beauty of the way I'm looking at it. I think you can sell and still be in contention. Like, I don't think it's an either-or proposition. You can trade away Kerrigan and Anderson and Moreau and people like that, and you can still pretend that it's pathetic. That's the gift of this position. You can still take your plan of being a developmental year, to being a rebuilding year, but you can compete for the division at the same time. I don't think it has to be it's one thing or the other. I do think this is a situation where you kind of like have to take the leadership. But what they do, Roy and Brunswick is good. Hey, Roy. Hey, brother. Hey, brother.
2016 when we had a
I think you definitely have to sell
and unfortunately the
those
guys played well.
really good voter. He's a, you know, B plus, A minus voter, that kind of thing. And that matters. But I'm turned off by this missed time. I mean, again, 16 games the last 3 years. It's not like it's one ailment. It's like every year it's something different. It's not his fault. You know, he's not soft. It's just these guys, their bodies break down for whatever reason. Another thing, too, is your mind. He's an older player for his draft class. Now, you can play guard at a high level as well to your 30s, so I don't get too caught up in this with him. But it is worth mentioning that, like, Sheriff and Landon Collins were both taken in 2015. And Sheriff is like old, like 2 years older than Landon. Like, Sheriff is, look it up right now. Brandon Sheriff is 28 years old already. So, you know, that's what the thing about. You don't want to give a guy a 5-year contract. He already has got injuries. When you get older, you're not going to get healthy. So, just something to consider. But they do have a cap. I mean, if they want to pay him, they can. They do have to go. 312-380-0980. How should Washington handle it? Trade them out today. May is what's up, May? Hey.
I am all on board. This is my first candidate. The Brandon Sheriff. I came in first round. When the O
Bill O'Brien. If you have an asset like DeAndre Hopkins, if for whatever reason you want to trade him, he was nothing you wanted to trade DeAndre, but Brian wanted to trade him, you call every team in the league, you say make them your best offer because you're going to trade DeAndre Hopkins, and you create a bidding war. You incite a bidding war, the likes of which we may have never seen before. And apparently that did not happen. I can't imagine, though, given that Washington wanted to upgrade this year, right? Maybe they could I've got to think, had they known Hopkins was available, they would have made a serious push for him. Now, you could say, well, shame on Washington for not knowing that, but that kind of came out of nowhere, the Hopkins thing, the Texans wanting to trade him. So I don't know that you're going to necessarily know the inner workings of every organization all the time. Like, there's going to be things that pop up that surprise you. And that Hopkins thing did. Like, I remember how that played out, Mark. It, like, came out one day that the Texans might trade Hopkins. I know I first thought, I was like, okay, whatever. And then, like, the next day, you trade him. And you're like, what? How did that happen? Speaking of star receivers who are being traded, what about the possibility of Washington acquiring Michael Thomas? Is that at all possible? Imagine a Buckeye super tandem at receiver of Michael Thomas and Terry McLaurin. I want to get to that up next, but we'll continue this conversation, get to lots of calls. 301-330-0980. The NFL trade deadline is a week from today. How will the Washington football team handle it? Al Malden with you. Doc is on this afternoon, noon to 3, with Scott Lynn and Brian Mitchell. Coming right back. Don't forget next hour, in addition to Washington talk, David Shine, MLB insider for Washington Post. We talk World Series with the at 11:30.
Thank you, creepy girls.
Attention, service military families. Whether you're planning to rent out the property, there's a reason that you want to go to our post-legal program is designed to help you get the most out of your financial maximize transformation, getting you from the door to fast. We're here to help you every step with personalized military support. Select military 474747 to win more.
No one had any clue what was wrong with me.
At MGM National Harbor, enjoy monumental food. Now to the Jostens Brothers Steakhouse and purchase yourself in a culinary tour of Asia and Ginger, or grab a $12 burger and beer at Town Sports Bar and Celebrating Services. Now offering indoor and outdoor social distancing and contactless ordering. You can also take your favorites to go with the new MGM to go app, while visiting masks are required at all times at MGM National Harbor. Monumental happens here. Make your reservation at MGMNationalHarbor.com.
Men, are you tired of those daily flu and cancer pills that take weeks or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now taking Red, the new natural male empowerment pill that works on demand. Even your partner will notice the difference the very first time you use it. To prove Red won't disappoint like the others, nationwide, I take Red, partner reaction guarantee trial. We're taking participants for this nationwide trial, not only to prove it works the very first time you try it, we guarantee your partner will also notice the difference. Forget those slow-acting blue pills and join those who proudly take Red. Over 50,000 pills have already been claimed and supplied by minutes, so to ensure your participation in this free nationwide trial, you must call now.
Superior virility on demand. You only need to take Red once to see what all the buzz is about. Call immediately to participate in our free nationwide trial. Call 1-800-789-3441. 1-800-789-3441. Be one of thousands to proudly say, I take Red. 1-800-789-3441.
If you need to hire, Indeed. Indeed will respond candidates so you can focus on hiring the person who's a good fit. Claim your $25 credit and your first post at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
WTEM and early local radio stations minority controlled and operated and serving the African American community for over
divisional games this season. The Rams last night on Monday Night Football ripping Chicago 20-10. Each team now 5-2. Baseball World Series Game 6 tonight. Dodgers taking their first World Series title since 1988, holding a 3-2 lead on Tampa Bay. And 808 first pitch at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Tony Gonsolin versus Blaisdell. LA is minus 133 favorites. NASCAR Cup Series playoffs race in Texas. Unable to resumed on Monday due to rain. Halted on Sunday after 52 laps due to rain. It's scheduled to resume today beginning at noon. That NASCAR report brought to you by Geico. Proud sponsor of NASCAR's Cup Series. Geico 15 minutes, save you 15% on car insurance. Your DMV weather presented by Window Nation. Buy new windows, get through free. Visit windownation.com. Cloudy today, highs in the 60s.
This is Talkin' Golf on the Team 980, 95.9 FM, and the Team 980 app.
Probably
dropping passes or not running routes correctly. It's just been inconsistency among the whole offense of the passing game. And I like what I'm seeing from Kansas these past couple games. Inman has been pretty solid. So I'm not gonna make that move, but the one move I would check on is tight end, and I would check on David from Cleveland. So the fact that they plan Hopper to that big money deal, and the emergence of another tight end they have, I think his name is Brown. It seems like they're pretty good. So if Zuko could be on the way out the door, so I definitely would check on him. I wouldn't break him. I wouldn't give up a whole lot of capital, but I definitely would check on him. And that's what Vice President Paul.
There you go. Appreciate it. Yeah, and the thing about it, Joker, that you love is he's a younger player. This is his age 24 season. So you're getting a guy who's young, not being thrown to a lot at all right now in Cleveland. Has some talent. I don't know that he is like elite tight end talent, but he has some ability. A few years back, 2018, he had 56 catches. So there's something to him. Yeah. I'm with you on all that. I think all that makes a lot of sense. The thing with Kerrigan, I want to say is this. They being Washington should not in any way let Ryan's history with the team influence what they do. And I'm not trying to say like you got to be disrespectful to him. You shouldn't be. He's been a very good player. But the fact that he has been a very good player should not govern whether you trade him or not. This is not about what happened in 2013 or 2016. This is about 2020 and beyond. And if you're Ron Rivera, you have actually very simple. You say, is this a team I want with my rebuild and my new culture moving forward? Or is this a team, given the cost, that you're probably better off without? And if the answer is the latter, then you trade him. If it's not, if you say, you know what, Ryan Kerrigan takes care of his body and we think he can actually do really good for at least another 3 years, then okay, keep him. But do not let the fact that he's, the franchise all-time satisfied, or the fact that he's probably a future member of the Ring of Fame, or the fact that he's, one of Danny's favorites. Like, that's all great. But I'm not going to let that influence what I do with him. And I do think it would be a really encouraging sign if Kerrigan gets traded. Not that, again, you have to get him out of here. He's about to take a hit, but would that not be a sign that this is Ron Rivera's show? I mean, that is a very non-Danny-like move if they trade Ryan Kerrigan. And if that happens, I think that would be a signal of Ron really is in charge, and Ron really is running things. That's one of the sneaky things about the benching of Haskins. Wherever you stand on it, is it not an indication that Ron's running things, that he benched Wayne 4 games into the season, especially off a game in which he seemingly demonstrated improvement, right? His performance against the Ravens versus the against the Browns. Just something to think about. Rick, how should Washington handle the trade deadline?
Hey, what's up, Coffee? I'm kind of torn between this. I want to stay hold in place right now. Because once you start getting rid of players, man, then you change your backup. If you trade Kerrigan, you're going to have to win, or you're going to trade that you've been here earlier. But I would hold on to Kerrigan. I would hold on to Sheriff at one time, but I would even hold on to him because like I said, injuries, and I don't think anybody will get Sheriff a big contract in the offseason too. So we do need a veteran receiver out